شاهزاده زارعی پدر آراد از جانباختگان هواپیمای اوکراینی که توسط اعمال تروریستی سپاه پاسداران سرنگون شد، هشتمین روز راهپیمایی برای دادخواهی را در یادبود کودکان، نوجوانان و کردیا کمسن‌ترین کودک این پرواز اختصاص داد. او گفت امروز روز تولد فراز فلسفی و کردیا مولانی می باشد. کفش‌های قرمز کردیا هنوز در شاهدشهر تهران به دنبال این دختر کوچولوی زیبای ما که هیچ وقت به خانه‌اش نرسید می‌گردد. در پرواز PS752 29 کودک و نوجوان توسط حرکت تروریستی سپاه کشته شدند که از آنها یاد می‌کنیم. کردیا، ژیوان، مایا، آرنیکا، راستین، آرسام، دریا، دورینا، اصل، آراد، ریرا، آنیسا، فاطمه، پارسا، دانیل، دورسا، امیل، اریک، شهرزاد، صوفی، رامتین، محسن، مطهره، السا، کامیار، کیان، نوژان، پریا و کودکی که هرگز به دنیا نیامد به نام هوگر. سپاه پاسداران قاتل این کودکان بیگناه است و باید در لیست گروه‌های تروریستی قرار بگیرد.
Let's begin by talking about today. I understand that there was a ceremony earlier in the day in the midst of the march. What can you tell me about that?
Actually, it was the Kordia's Molani's birthday, the youngest person on the plane. She was 1.5 on the time, but it's been killed by the IRGCs from the Iranian regime. And today she was 4, and we had a cake and a birthday here. We're celebrating her. She is on the heaven, but we have the celebrities here for her, and we remembering her here with his uncle here, just right next to me. To remembering to say the promise we make to our loved one from the day one. We are not forgetting. We are not going back. We are fighting for the justice for every single passenger of Ps752.
Mirzad, while you were speaking, we were showing a picture of that beautiful child who would, if everything had gone correctly that day, would have been celebrating her birthday with her family. But unfortunately, as you said, she's not with us anymore. And 176 people we lost on that day. What is it that you and your friends and the uncle and all of you are marching for? What do you want from Ottawa?
It is actually is important because we deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran, a regime that kills innocent people regularly and commits criminal and terrorist acts. If we stay silent, they will kill more. They kill our loved one. We urge Canadian government and Mr. Prime Minister to take the serious action against these terrorist regimes. Canada should take this case to the International Court. RCMP should do criminal investigation, apply Magnitsky sanctions against the Iranian official, list IRGC terrorist group as entity to Canada. We need serious action. Now is a time for Canadian government to stay for the Canadian people, for the victim family, fighting for us, fighting for the justice, and instead of the appeasement with the murderer. The murderer not welcome to Canada. We should put the IRGC on the list of the terrorists. On the motion on 2018 being passed to the government. Why they waiting for? Now is a time to put the IRGC on the list of the terrorists. This is the all families wanted, the victim family wanted. This is for safety for Canada, for the help us. Now I asking Honorable Prime Minister, please, as you promised my
Mirzad, forgive me. I must interrupt you because I hear you. I hear that passion. I also hear your pain. I get it. But you and I both know that people will watch this and they will say, well, look, the Iranian government said it was an accident. It was an error. We should not be punished for a mistake that was made. And the Canadian government has also responded in the past saying that they take this very seriously and that they are investigating and they stand behind the families of the victims.
No, I'm sorry, Natasha. The one thing is this is terrorist act. This is intentionally act by the court of the Ontario. With all the evidence we passed to the court, this is intentionally and the act of the terror. We need the government of the Canada to stay with us. We need support of the Canadian government. Is 950 days past since President Trump.
Mehrzad, do you
If-
feel
if
abandoned by the Canadian government? Do you feel like you've been forgotten by the Canadian government?
our Canadian government, they come in, they sweet talk. We do not talk. We do not need talk. We need action. We need our government standing for us, fighting for us against this terrorist act. You know, this is why we marching to the Ottawa, why we asking the Honorable Prime Minister to stay and respect the victims' families. The easiest thing for the families, victim families, they all want the IRGC to be on the list of the terrorists.
Okay.
Group.
Mehrzad, before I let you go, we've heard the political point of view. I hear your argument, but now please talk to me about your son and what that loss means to you on a human level, if it's not too painful to talk about it.
My son, he was 17 when they killed him. My son, like every 17 years boy, had a friend, comfortable life here in Canada, going to the schools, going to the gym, going playing football, soccer, volleyball, handball, every, things on the 17 years boy. Destroyed my life. I stayed at home 2 years. I couldn't walk. I couldn't go out. I couldn't work. The pain I have is not recovery. I have bad leg. I have bad back. But I fight for the justice. I want the justice for my son, for 28 kids, for 170 innocent. We keep nothing. We need justice. We urge Canadian government take serious action, standing for us. Enough is enough. As Prime Minister said, Canadian is Canadian is Canadian. Canadian life is matter.
Okay. Mehrzad, thank you so much for your time. I wish you luck. Take care of your legs. Take care of your back. That's a long walk. Be safe. And thank you all for your time.
Thank you very much, Indy. Thank you.
Mr.Zarei is on Highway 7 in Ontario, and he's making his way with a group of others who are Ps752 victims' families all the way to Ottawa.
Mr.Zarei, father of Arad, one of the victims of the flight Ps752 that was shot down at the behest of the IRGC's terrorist activity, dedicated Day 8 of the March for Justice to all the children of the flight whom lost their life at the most brutal way. IRGC has murdered these children, and they must be enlisted as an terrorist entity. He said at his interview with CBC News that he urges the government of Canada and the RCMP to take serious actions in pursuit of justice. The families of the victims want the government of Canada to take the file to the International Court and enlist IRGC as a terrorist organization and put an end to all the political games and start supporting the families in their pursuit for justice.